Everyone, again, welcome back to this lecture. I hope you understood about OAuth at a high level and you got the flow. Hey, don't worry, I have a practical example. Later, we will integrate our AnyPoint platform with our own authorization server. You will get more clarity there. Okay. But before that, I wanted you to understand about JWT. What is this JWT and what is its role in OAuth and why we use it? So let us get started. Actually, let us try to understand a problem in our previous discussion. Actually, whenever a resource owner has to hit the resource server API, this is an API. This API is secured. Whenever you want to hit this secured API, you need to send access token. Once you send access token to resource server, what it will do? It has to send this token to authorization server and ask the authorization server, is this token valid? The authorization server will return the details about what all scopes this token is granted. Then using this data, the resource server will take a decision whether to respond or show an error message. But here, for every API call which the resource server gets, this has to validate the token and get the details, right? Don't you think that this is extra network call? Every time the performance of your API is impacted, every time you make an API call, it has to validate the token, get the details, right? It is a performance impact. So this opaque token is having a problem. This opaque token, whatever we discussed, it doesn't have any information. The resource server has to hit the authorization server again and get the details, which is a network call. Performance is impacted. Now the idea is whenever the resource server is sending the access token, if the token itself has all the details, then this extra call can be avoided, right? So now the access token, if it contains all the information about what all permissions have been granted, it will be good, right? So you can use an access token of type JWT. JWT stands for JSON Web Token, JWT, or we call it as JOT token. So how does this JSON Web Token look like? Actually, JSON Web Token will be having three parts. It looks like A.B.C. Every JWT token will look like this. A is a JSON, B is a JSON, C is a JSON. Okay, but not in JSON format. It is encoded JSON. So JWT token will look like this: A.B.C. A is called as headers section. It is of course a JSON, and we call this part as headers. B is actually the payload, and C is signature. Okay, what is the role of the C? We'll try to understand with an example. How does this any token look like? I'll go to a website called as jwt.io. Let us see a simple JWT token. See, in this website, they have given a sample JWT token. As I told you, it contains A dot B dot C, three parts. Actually, A is a JSON in encoded format, B is a JSON, C is a JSON. So now when this JWT is decoded on the right side, you can see the decoded JSON as I told you, first part is header. It will look like this. It tells about what is the algorithm used, and type is JWT. Okay. So once it is decoded, you get it. What is the algorithm use? So what is this? Actually, it is a signature algorithm. HS256 is the one which is used in this case. It is a signature. So actually, I told third part is a signature, right? The signature is using this algorithm called as HS256. And this middle part is a payload. It is containing a JSON like this. Okay, what is this containing? Let us try to understand. It is containing like this, right? Actually, the payload is saying to whom this token is given. The token is given to something called a subject. Actually, these tokens will be given by authorization servers, right? To whom is this token given? The token is given to some subject. The token is actually for which subject? Basically, in this case, resource owner, right? Actually, every resource owner can be thought of as subject to whom this token, on behalf of whom this token is generated. Every subject will be identified uniquely by using some ID on the authorization server. This is subject. And it is claiming that the name of the subject is John Doe. This is called as a claim. So in a JWT token, B is a payload, and this payload can contain multiple claims. Name is a claim. Okay. And IAT stands for what? IAT. IAT means issued at what time this token was issued. Actually. Okay. Fine. There can be other claims also, like email. In this case, it can contain the email details. And profile. It can contain the profile URL. Whatever data. Date of birth. Date of birth of the user. Actually, payload can contain multiple claims. Okay. That means this token, you have to think like this. This token is having all these claims. This token is having all these claims, whatever have been mentioned, right? So whatever the token is claiming, how can a resource server trust that these claims are correct? Actually, I told you that if we are sending JWT access token, we said that resource server need not go to authorization server for validation. It can use information present in JWT token directly. That is what I said, right? So the JWT token is claiming that the token, whatever has been generated, this is a token containing information. The token is claiming that this is a name, this email, past profile, etc. Right? How can the resource server trust these are correct? Actually, what authorization server does is who generated this authorization, who generated this JWT token, some authorization server might have generated, right? You can see that the C, A.B.C, the last part is a signature. So hope you remember the discussion on signature. So authorization server, what it will do is it is generating a token, right? In the form of A.B.C. B is a JSON, right? So what authorization server will do is it will create a signature for this content and send it as part of C. Signature means how do you create a signature for some data? Suppose if this is the data, this entire JSON as a string. To create a signature, what the authorization server might have done? It might have computed the digest of this data and encrypt it with private key of authorization server. So this is the digest. This is the signature. Digest of the data encrypted with private key of authorization server is the digest. So why do we use signature? As we understood in the previous videos, please go to my previous video on signature to understand what is the purpose of signature, to make sure that the data, whatever is there, is not tampered. It is as it is, right? So now, what this resource server can do, resource server has to validate this signature. To validate the signature, what it will do, what it needs, the resource server. Resource server just needs public key of authorization server. Somehow, I'll tell you how that somehow, if resource server has the public key of authorization server, then it can actually verify this signature, right? To verify, what it will do, it will decrypt this signature using public key. So it will get the digest. Then for this original B, C signature, right? It decrypted the signature, it got the digest. Now for the part B, it will compute a digest using the same algorithm mentioned in headers. In header, it is mentioned signature algorithm. Using this algorithm, actually, it will digest. Okay. Again, it will compute a digest. So both of them are matching. That means this data is not tampered. This is the data as it is, as given by the authorization server. So if this data is saying the email is this, profile is this, and all, and signature is verified, that means this data is correct. So now what resource server can do? Resource server just it verified the signature, and once signature is verified successfully, it can take all the details present in B, like email, profile, etc., and use it for sign in. So with JWT token, we can avoid this extra round trip to validate the token. The JSON web token or the JWT token will contain all the information, right? So basically JWT contains A.B.C. C is a signature. Signature of whom? Authorization server. To validate this signature, the resource server just needs public key. It will be able to validate the signature. If signature is valid, that means the data B is not tampered, and this B is given by authorization server only. So the resource server can just use this information. So whatever this payload contains, all these claims are valid claims, right? So this token is claiming that email of the subject is this one, profile is this one. All the claims are valid. Actually, in OAuth, we use a terminology. We use a terminology called as scope. Many people doesn't have clear idea. Scope is nothing but a set of claims. So actually, whenever a client is requesting for details from the API server, if client has to ask for 5 claims, client wants to retrieve a profile, email, date of birth, etc. 5. Sending all the 5 claim names is difficult. So instead, what we can just send one claim, personal profile, something like this. On server, normally the authorization server will define scopes, and this scope contains what all are claims that will be mapped on the server. Server knows the scope names and all. So actually don't get confused. One scope is nothing but a combination of claims, right? So it is made easy actually for authorization server. And even the client, whenever client is requesting, client can say, I want this scope. So whenever scopes are asked, the server will respond with all these claims. Right? Basically, here claim is nothing but a detail: email claim, profile claim, date of birth claim. Why are we calling it as claims? This token, actually, who is presenting this token? Who is presenting this token? The client is presenting the token to resource server. Or suppose if there is an app to app communication, app A, and this is the API. Whenever application wants to invoke this API, it is sending a token, right? That token is having some claims. What is the email, user, etc., whatever. So these are the claims, and claims can be validated by validating the signature, right? So that's about JWT, and we will see, we'll actually use this in our AnyPoint platform. Like I'll configure Okta. There is authorization server, famous authorization server called as Okta. I will show you how to integrate Okta with AnyPoint platform. Okta is an authorization server. You will integrate AnyPoint platform with Okta. There I will show you how authorization code grant can be used and JWT tokens are used. Okay. And what we will do is we will actually secure our own APIs using API manager. There I will show you how to use this client credentials grant type. Practically, we're going to see in next lectures. That's all for now. Hope the concepts are clear. If you have any queries, give a message on write a comment on this video. Don't forget to like this video so that it will reach many people. Thank you.